everybody.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D.O.G podcast. As always, I'm Drew with OC and German. And today, you guessed it, we're going to talk about some football.
Let's go ahead and let's just get the obvious out of the way. And let's get Drew's rant. Just right away.
I thought when you said the obvious, let's just dive right into it. I thought we were going to talk about the race bowl.
Okay, we'll save it for the end. We'll save it for the end. I did want to bring it up.
Okay, we'll talk about the race bowl at the end.
Reminded me.
Okay, my rant on the Dallas Cowboys. It's not that long, honestly.
Really?
No, because
I thought you had a whole poem involved. Four score and
7 years ago. That's about the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl.
I have a dream.
Did you know Drew remembers that too?
I do remember that.
Do you remember?
I remember that Super Bowl.
No,
I was
you
there.
don't.
I was
He was
there.
like
You were.
three.
I was
that's
there.
also-
No, I was like
No,
one and a half.
he was like one. Dude.
I was almost two. I was almost two. No, I was almost one. Anyway, I've been alive for at least one Cowboys Super Bowl.
That's what I was like.
But that's not what we're going to talk about right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about what went wrong with the Cowboys, and it's plain and simple. Can't stop the run. And this happens to the Cowboys once or twice a year, every year for like the last 10 years. The Cowboys give up career day.
Josh Allen had like 90 yards passing.
Yes. Yeah. And then you want to know what's crazy is they gave Josh Allen the game ball at the end of the game.
Yeah, that
Dude,
was wild.
That's so messed up.
That was wild.
It's like Cook just had like 200 all-purpose yards, and you're going to give the ball to Josh Allen.
Right.
Because he did what? He flopped? He goes to the school of LeBron James flopping. Cowboys can't stop the run. It happens. It happens last year. It happened the year before that. At the end of the day, it goes down to coaching. We were missing our nose. There's no excuse because they ran anywhere they wanted to. They didn't just run between the A's and B gaps. They ran the C gap. They ran the D gap. It was the toss. It was reverse. Anything they wanted. They took the Cowboys' strength, the pass rush, and turned it into a weakness. You're gonna come into our backfield. We're just gonna let you come through and then blow right by you. So that's really it. I mean, Dak didn't have a great game, but he also couldn't get the ball. I mean, the defense couldn't get off the field. So you really gave Dak no time to make anything happen. The weather wasn't in Dak's favor. It wasn't Josh Allen's favor. It's a run-heavy offensive day, and Cowboys just really couldn't get anything going offensively enough to sustain quality drives after their defense was on the field for like 10 minutes.
Are you going to talk about officiating at all?
The officiating was bad. It was bad. But it's just a common theme that we've had amongst all major games, it seems like. I mean,
all major games?
All major games. Has there been a major game that hasn't had a questionable referee call?
That's true. I'll give you that.
So I don't agree on some of the personal fouls. Like the very first one resulted in a touchdown instead of a field goal is the late hit on Josh Allen. It's a flop, in my opinion. I mean, he had the whole like head thrown back and everything. It was bad.
He sells it really well.
Yeah.
He does.
No, he flops like LeBron.
But to be fair, they gave some to Dak also, right? They gave him a few.
When he got hit in the face.
But I'm saying like they gave him some too. It's not
those were legit in my opinion.
Yeah.
The one on Josh Allen, not legit in my opinion. J-Ron Curse, did you see that one? They gave him a personal foul too for.
No, I didn't see that one.
The ball was already beyond the receiver, and he was like going into the receiver, like when he was in mid-flight, and they're like, "Oh, that's illegal, helmet to helmet or some shit like that." His helmet like hit the back of his shoulder pad, and then like hit his helmet, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's personal foul."
People don't want to watch Pittman get decapitated.
I know,
over and over again on national television.
That was brutal. We can jump to that real quick. That was brutal. I don't agree with the suspension though for the rest of the season. That's a bit much.
I thought it was over the top.
That's a bit much. I can see 2-game suspension without pay, and then you last game of the season, and then playoffs you can play, but
and then without pay.
The full season, that's a lot.
They could have just suspended him and then like, okay, we're gonna just fine you this amount.
And it wasn't no pay. It wasn't like malicious. Like there's a bunch of intent there. Yeah. I think he's just making a play. I don't think he realizes that Pittman's fucking laying out face first. I mean, that tackle that he tries to hit is not something that is uncommon with a defensive back, right? That's a typical defensive back tackle.
But I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys watched what I sent you, what Rich Eisen had to say about the hit.
I did not. I ignored your
You
text.
ignored it,
Yeah.
like always.
Yeah.
But
the Cowboys game was on.
no, but basically he was talking about how, okay, well, you got to put some responsibility on Gardner Minshew, right? Because this is what Tom Brady was talking about when it's like, well, if we know we're playing against Ray Lewis, I'm not going to throw it, on the 3-yard drag route
Yeah.
to throw it up just to allow my guy to get decapitated. And that's kind of what Gardner Minshew did, right? A little bit. He kind of just sailed it up, set him up when he could have gone to like the outside, like throwing the ball towards the sideline, right? So there's a point there, right, where you just gotta start, looking at the quarterbacks and looking at the coaches. Where like, dude, you got to coach that better. When you're at practice, you see a throw over the middle, dude, don't do that, right? Yeah, or the quarterback's got to understand that, right? I mean, Gardner Minshew's been in the league for a handful of years now. He should probably know better. Right.
Don't let your boy get lit up like that.
No, dude. Don't set him up, dude. That was awful.
All right. I have a question for Drew though.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So, does that loss against Buffalo worry you at all for Dallas down the stretch?
He's gonna say no.
It worries me in tough conditions, weather-wise. I am not too concerned. I'm concerned about the defense not being able to stop the run. We got that three-headed monster in Miami next week, and then we got the two-headed monster against Detroit. And that concerns me. I think that they'll make adjustments. I trust Dan Quinn can pull it together and figure out how to stop the run.
Plus, it's two offenses that are coming in hot too, right?
Yeah, but in like what they got going against the Miami team is Tua loves to throw the ball. OC talked about it last week, how they got stagnant and they got very relaxed in their play calling against Tennessee. Run, and that didn't really work out. They're a high-octane, high-efficiency offense that loves to throw the ball, right? Yeah. Tua loves to throw the ball.
They scaled it back, though, against the Jets. They ran more efficiently.
Right.
So
I mean, Raheem Mostert and Achane both had pretty decent games.
Yeah. He only threw 24 passes on Sunday. He went 21 of 24. It's efficiency, you know.
Yeah, that's good.
Only when they need a big play or they need a second and long or third and long, they're gonna throw it.
Well, that's a quarterback's best friend, right? Is a running game, right?
So,
when you could just turn around, hand the ball off 30 times a game.
Drew said you got Achane and Mostert, who's got what? He's tied with McCaffrey for 20 touchdowns on the ground, or 18 and 2.
Right, with 20, I think 20 total.
20 total, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see how they do because, I mean, you're going to play a similar style, right, against a team like Miami who's going to try to just run down your throat.
Right.
And the thing that I saw in that Buffalo and Dallas game, the linebackers you guys put in the box, it felt like they kept picking on them. So they're smaller guys and
they were like getting to the next level.
Yeah,
right.
They were just easily double teaming, get up to the next level, and just shoving them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how effective that is against Dallas this week, or if they can do the same thing.
And then in the receiving game too, do you think that Miami sees that and then like, well, we can use Achane a little bit more because they saw what James Cook did in the receiving game, not just in the running game, right?
Well, naturally Miami throws a lot of like quick screens and a little tailback swings to their running back, so you're going to see a lot of that. And
that's kind of how Arizona beat them, right?
Yeah.
With a lot of receiver screens, and then like, okay, I mean, because when you play the Cowboys and then you see what the Eagles did when they were trying to stretch the field, which they did the exact same thing against Seattle. And when you man up those receivers, it's hard to get the ball out, right? Especially if it's a deep route. And so how do you come back, man? You start setting up screens, double moves, right? So are you guys putting anything on that game between the two guys?
We haven't discussed it yet.
Yeah, we haven't.
But
I'm sure. Well, we have a couple of microphones. Like, we kind of do a show where it's about discussing things.
What do you want to put on it?
Whatever you want, man.
Should we bring up the last meeting between Miami and Dallas?
Oh, go for it. It was 4 years ago. We went there.
We were at that game.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. It was after a pretty fun weekend.
One of the Dolphins reporters reposted the stat line I sent to this guy. We flew all the way to Dallas to watch Miami get dragged through the mud.
Right.
Both Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard ran for over 100 yards each in that game. Josh Rosen was still the quarterback.
It was a low scoring game, right?
No.
Or no, I'm thinking
Miami,
I'm confusing that one with when they played Tampa, where it was like a low scoring game. It was like 2 years ago, I think.
Who?
Dallas.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's not. I was just saying Miami didn't score at all. Well, they scored 2 field goals. So.
Yeah. It was a great game for me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, we can discuss it later. We'll come up with a good
There
good
will
little
be
bet.
something. all the
Yeah.
time,
Gentleman's bet.
A little gentleman's bet.
Probably a little bit
Easily,
more, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just the baseline, right? The
Yep.
basics.
Him and every Cowboys fan that hates me. So
It's just
everybody just asks me.
you gotta have to stretch your wallet. That Christmas
no.
money ain't gonna go that far, dude.
That's why he has so many stipends.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about the playoff picture in the AFC now, right? Because that win by Buffalo, I think, was pretty big, right? And now Buffalo's coming in hot, and Buffalo, they play against Miami, right?
At the end of the year, yeah.
Could that potentially be for the division title?
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Right.
I said if Buffalo wins this game against Dallas, they have an
You put it on them,
easy
dude.
slate because they play the Chargers, who got thrown 63 on the board last week.
How
by the
torn
Raiders.
were you last weekend when? Because I mean, how much your hatred for Dallas
Yeah, but
pleases you.
I'd rather have the division locked up than having to wait till week 18. You
But
know?
now it's up in the air.
Miami's got such a difficult schedule to finish this season.
It's gonna.
It's one of the most difficult schedules.
It's gonna come.
Yeah.
They have.
It's coming. It's coming down to
the
that
most
last
difficult.
that last
It's gonna
game
come down to the
in
last
Buffalo, right?
No, it's in Miami.
It's
Oh, it's in Miami?
because they lost in Buffalo already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize you guys had the Ravens in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. You guys can either potentially fall out of winning the division or potentially be the 1 seed. If you guys can to beat the Cowboys this week and then beat the Ravens the following week, you guys are driver's seat for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Or you lose a game and then you play that last game of the season for the 5th seed.
They have like a slim chance of if you lose all 3, they could potentially be out as well. So
I don't necessarily think that's the case because there's a couple of 8-win teams that I think you guys will be better
There's
than.
a couple of teams like I mean, Bengals, Browns, like those level teams, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, you think the Steelers will sneak in there? I don't think so.
No.
Doesn't look that way.
not after the effort they put
Whatever
forth.
happens in the AFC South, I don't know. Right? The AFC South,
Dude, it's 8 and
That's a
6,
toss-up
8 and
too.
6, 8 and 6, right?
What's going on there? Right? What's going on? Let's talk about Trevor Lawrence now. What's going on with him? When the ghost of Manti Te'o's girlfriend just knocks the ball out of his hand, like what's happening, dude?
I'm pulling for Uncle Rico, a little Gardner Minshew action. I'd love to see the Colts win that division. That'd be cool.
That'd be pretty sweet. I mean, given the adversity that they've had
Yeah.
throughout this entire
The
conundrum
number
of
of
a
starters
season.
that they're out,
And then Jonathan Taylor hasn't played, right?
Yep.
As soon as he comes back, and Zach Moss completely just fell off,
He
right?
got hurt on Sunday too.
And he had
did he?
that great start to the season,
What's
right?
his name? Shane Steichman, the head coach. He's now in the driver's seat to be head
Coach of the year. He should. He should. Given
What he lost his number 1 pick and piecing
Right.
together. He lost Jonathan Taylor.
a lot
He
of
had
Eagle
him hold
fans.
out, you know.
A lot of Eagle fans regretting losing him.
oh
The-
Minshew.
No.
Steichman.
Yeah,
Oh,
he was their
okay, okay.
offensive
He was
coordinator.
our offensive coordinator. It looks that way. I mean, the Eagles too, another team. Surprising loss. Surprising to me. It was an awesome ending. It was pretty sweet.
I'm pretty sure I
Right.
picked the Seahawks to win.
Yeah, a lot of people picked the Seahawks to win.
I was pretty hyped. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like that was a Cowboy victory.
Mhm.
I was jumping up and down when Drew Lock dropped
I was
that diamond.
I was pretty neutral for that one because it's 2 NFC teams. The Seattle Seahawks, right? Niners rivalry.
It just solidifies.
and then we can get the number
the
1
one seed for the
yeah.
Niners.
Made it
really.
that much easier for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, and that
You
that
guys
was-
can still lose one more game and still be
and
the
still
one seed.
exactly. And then given how home games for the Niners, how they play out there,
Mhm.
it makes it just that much more difficult for everybody else. That's
Yeah.
why when you brought up, I think it was earlier, you brought up the Cowboys and the conditions later on for Dak. I mean, really, where is he going to play where there's going to be tough conditions? Because even if they have to go to Detroit, it's inside.
Yeah, it would really. It's Philly, but I think when I've thought about this, I think I'd rather go to Philly and play than go to San Francisco. And
But
play.
as of now, Philly would have to go to you guys,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So as of right now, I mean, they're the 2 seed. They're playing every
Mm-hmm.
game at home except for the NFC Championship, assuming they get that far.
So what's more likely then, the Eagles winning the division or the Cowboys? The Eagles have the easier schedule.
Yeah, but
100%.
the Eagles are also falling apart way more than the Cowboys are.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got to look at Jalen Hurts and think, dude, you haven't thrown a touchdown in 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's not good.
It's a 3-game losing streak at the time where you don't want
3-game losing streaks.
Mm-hmm.
Losing 3 games in a row in general is not easy to bounce back from. I mean, the Niners did it, but the Niners are a different breed. Like they're not in the same category as the Eagles.
But they also it was early. Yeah, then they had their bye week right
and
after.
They were missing players. The Eagles are at full strength.
Right.
They've got everyone, and they're losing games, and their offense looks terrible. Their defense we already knew was bad, but the offense had carried them through those first 10-1 start. That was the offense really carrying them the whole way. And now if the offense isn't working, what do they got going for them?
You guys need to tell me something if I'm dyslexic or not, because I was trying to read AJ Brown's tweet, the one that you sent.
The one that I sent?
The one that you sent
dude,
earlier?
You got to decipher that thing.
I was trying to read it, and I was like, dude, I might be retarded.
He's talking in like this slang, this hood slang, bro. It's like,
I couldn't
hold on.
understand it, dude.
Yeah, I felt like I had to read it over and over.
It's like Godzilla had a stroke trying to read this. Poor Godzilla. It was pretty difficult to read. Like I know, like he was mad at somebody at something. I couldn't understand.
Well, he's like, it's my when he doesn't throw to me, I'm the bad guy. When he throws to me, it's his fault, but it's not his fault. But it is his fault. So it was like, come on, dude. Like, what are you trying to get at? What is he complaining about? He's complaining after every game. They win, he still complains. They lose, he complains. AJ Brown is just a me guy. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen him like talk about the team at all.
Well, that's a lot of
there's a lot of
receivers.
dysfunction going on in that team because Jalen Hurts said it too after the game that there's no effort or
was it confidence
or no confidence or whatever.
Who do you think he's calling out there?
I don't know. It's got to be himself.
I mean, he did talk about himself there for a little bit.
They asked for him to elaborate it, and what did he say? I don't have the dictionary with me.
Yeah,
and I was like, dude, what? You're calling out your team, but then you're not standing by what you say.
What a noob, dude! You don't walk around with a dictionary. Come on, man.
Don't say words you don't know the definition to.
So I got my Bible and I got my dictionary, dude. But no, yeah, dude. When he like calls somebody out like that. I mean, it's got to be somebody, right? I mean, and then they also had Matt Patricia calling their defense this week.
That's a huge pickup for them. But guess what? You can't replace the terrible players.
When I heard that, I was like, dude, they're screwed. They're screwed.
Yeah,
they're panicking.
Yeah, but then I saw Drew Lock was gonna play, and I was like, dude, kind of balance things out again.
When I found out Drew Lock was playing, I was like, that was the game I felt like the Eagles were gonna lose. And I was like, Drew Lock's playing. There's no chance.
Good for him, dude.
I was for him. Extremely ecstatic when he got that win. Now I think DeVito can beat the Eagles. On a serious note, I do think he could. I think he
struggled last week.
I think he's got that little confidence, little swagger in him that he really don't care who he's playing.
But we talked about this, right? Like quarterbacks that they come in late in the season, they start off hot, but then they kind of start to filter out a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jake Browning hasn't done it, right? I mean, it looked like he did. Right, and then he led that come from behind win with T. Higgins making probably the play of the year, right?
When he made that Michael Jordan Space Jam move, the
sweet,
arm just
dude.
Extended
without even looking.
That was pretty sweet.
That was sick.
Yeah, and so I mean, but yeah, you look across the board, all these other quarterbacks. I mean, which one do you think is more likely to filter out, or just Drew Lock get the starting job from here on out?
No, they're back in playoff contention.
So
that kept him alive. You got to go back
Smith.
to Geno.
Yeah.
I mean, Geno has shown a lot of good football this season. I mean, that Cowboys game, I feel like if he played 28 other teams, he would have won that game the way he played.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. It was a pretty sweet finish. Any surprise performances you guys want to talk about? I mean, any upsets that you guys kind of weren't expecting?
Texans
coming back in overtime.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
I thought they lost the game.
The best part was them Tennessee wearing the Houston Oilers
that was awesome.
Yeah.
Houston versus Houston,
mocking them on social media after.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Baker Mayfield beating the Packers at Lambeau.
Bakerfield, he might have a permanent job there in Tampa.
34 on him.
He's not looking bad.
He's got
Mike Evans now.
Yeah, I don't. Jordan Love. I don't know if he's good or if he's bad.
It's,
Like he went on that stretch there for a month. Was like, hey, he's looking like he could be a dude. And then you lose to
and then he
Tampa.
kind of falls off.
And then you're like, dude, what did you just do?
Right.
It's Tampa.
The Raiders putting up 63.
Oh yeah, we had our live reactions to that one
Yeah.
last year or last week.
How about the Panthers? The 1-win Panthers getting the
Getting the
second
dub.
Beating
win?
the Falcons. That just opened everything up in that division.
Yeah, what's
The
his name?
Saints are back in it
John
now.
Robinson had like 8 touches, dude. Like, what is
I
what is
think
going on over there?
I think we have more subscribers than fans at that Panthers game.
Or maybe
like
all
it.
our fans were at the Panthers.
I like it, dude. I like it.
Jared Goff threw for 5 TDs.
After Cam Newton called him a game manager,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Those-
He said, I'll show you a game manager.
I mean, no hate to Cam Newton, but I've seen some of his takes, and he's got the worst takes out of everybody. I feel like it's an entertaining podcast because I think he's like charismatic and stuff, and it's easy to listen to him.
Yeah.
But what he says, it's like, dude, really? You know what I mean? He's throwing a lot of guys under the bus, calling them mid and trash. Like,
I really don't listen to a lot of Cam Newton.
I think he's got the worst takes out of everybody.
I think he had one good season in the NFL. And,
when he MVP.
and that was really it. He can say whatever he wants because he did play in the NFL. He was an MVP. He went to the Super Bowl. So I'll give him that. You got a platform to say it more than 90% of the other people that are out there talking about football. But
No.
I'm not going to spend my time listening to Cam Newton.
Okay.
He doesn't listen to us, so we don't listen to him.
Exactly. He's
no
not a
love,
subscriber.
no love coming back.
Exactly.
There's no love going your way.
Exactly.
Dude. Just fucking warming up my arm. Right.
Do you remember that commercial?
I remember that commercial. It was everywhere for like 6 years, dude.
I take over your starting job and become your mom's favorite player. Oh, dude.
That's Brock Purdy.
That's
dude.
Brock Purdy.
That's Brock Purdy,
Yeah.
dude. That's Brock Purdy was a little kid, man. The play 60. You saw that when his homecoming too, and they show the pictures of him being honored in Arizona, like because they like when he played as a kid and in high school. Like I guess he was a baller in Arizona. He looks exactly the same. Like yeah, the dude doesn't age one bit. Might be a vampire, dude. It explains a lot.
Hey, so who's your MVP? Purdy or McCaffrey?
I'm cool if one of them win it, if both of them win it, if
pick
neither of them
one.
win it.
Pick
As
one.
long as we win the Super Bowl,
Pick
dude,
one.
that's all I care
Pick
about.
one.
Yeah.
I don't care about any other trophy than the Lombardi, dude.
Pick one.
But if I had to pick,
Okay.
it would be pretty cool to see Brock Purdy win it.
Okay.
I think it would be pretty awesome.
I just wanted to hear that because in his press conference he said that he thinks Christian McCaffrey.
So modest, dude.
Yeah.
So modest. I just want to go give him a kiss. Good job, buddy.
But for years,
He
what
tried so hard not to
I think
laugh.
Mahomes has been the only guy that has won the MVP and the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, I remember. I think we talked about it last
So
year with
it
like
might be a
that would be the
It's a
guy to do
curse.
it. Yeah.
I hope Brock Purdy wins then.
Why?
Because then he won't win the Super Bowl.
But I mean, Patrick Mahomes broke the curse.
That's Patrick Mahomes.
That's Mahomes.
That's Patrick Mahomes.
But to be
The
fair,
greatest player
to
of our generation.
To be fair, had Jalen not gotten hurt this last couple games, he probably would have won MVP and then lost in the Super Bowl.
last year.
Right? So there's some juju going on there, dude. That it broke.
Jalen Hurts
it
looks a
broke the
lot like
spell.
Cam Newton. to
Okay,
me.
so
one
then-
good season.
Winner of Ravens Niners, Lamar or Purdy is in the driver's seat.
You know what is so weird is that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, Lamar Jackson being like the front runner for MVP, right? Because
But
I mean, we've heard Dak all year, we've heard Jalen Mahomes all year.
We heard Dak for 1 week. Let's not say all year.
He's like a month, the past
Yeah.
month.
Yeah, the past month.
Okay, so, and and then Brock Purdy too. You heard whispers of it, right? The past few weeks, but not a whole lot by Lamar, right?
He's quietly the
He's
one
quietly
seed,
the one seed
because he
He's-
hands the ball off a lot.
hands the ball
Just-
off. They have an awesome team.
and he also rushes for like 70 a game.
I don't think he's had he's had a game where he's had to put the team on his back because I was watching. I think I remember him against the Steelers where he had the opportunity, right, to put the team on his back, go down the field, and win the game. Didn't happen because a guy like T.J. Watt on the other side. But he hasn't really had to put the team on his back, right? This entire
He
year.
did against the Rams.
Yeah,
right.
against
He
the
threw for
Rams.
like
When they won the overtime game.
he run like
right?
threw for like 380 yards,
And then a
something
little
like
bit last week with
When
Jacksonville.
they needed plays, he got them.
316 yards.
I mean, how do you defend that, right? Because I mean, we also didn't watch a lot of his primetime games. I think this was his first time on primetime, right?
Yeah.
This year.
And
now
I didn't even watch.
Now you get him back to back. So that's going to be a huge night for either
For either
team.
one,
Yeah,
right.
whoever comes out,
Mhm.
Christmas night, Monday Night Football.
The thing is you. I mean, you don't want to call Purdy out and out, the MVP, because if you see how his surrounding cast, how well they're playing too.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you look at his numbers, dude, and he's four plus touchdown games, right?
He's
That's
efficient. It's just because he's probably hasn't been a household name for a long time. It's only like his second year, right?
right.
But it's like he's balling. If this was like Josh Allen,
If this was
if
Mahomes,
this
or
was
this,
Mahomes, Yeah.
right away. Yeah, that's true.
My thing about Brock Purdy is it's so hard to pick any MVP on that team because they're all so good. They're all so valuable. Like if you
Right.
gave it to Debo or CMC or Purdy, it's like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes sense. Like we're not going to sit here and argue about it. But that's why I think I'd give it to Purdy because he's the conductor of that offense.
He puts it all together.
He puts it all together.
He does.
And early in the season when he was doing well, I didn't think that he was MVP worthy, but he's just continued to do it throughout the entire season. And because he's the conductor of probably the best offense in the NFL, I think that means that he should be the top
Because
candidate
he's the leader.
as of right now.
He's
Yes.
the guy.
Yes.
He's the guy who turns the wheels. Because I mean, if it were Sam Donald, it would actually look pretty freaking different.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I do think that Ravens-Niners matchup on Christmas Day is going to have a
It's
lot.
gonna be huge. It's gonna be huge.
If Brock does what he's been doing, then I think he's going to be the front runner. If Lamar can go in there and throw for 240 yards and run for 60, 70 yards, maybe Lamar's going to be the odds-on
Right.
favorite.
Yeah, if Lamar goes in there and beats San Francisco in San Francisco,
He'd have to be the favorite.
But
you
let's.
have to at least
But
give
you
him a
also
nod.
can't count out what depending on what Tyreek does. Right?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Tyreek's got to average like 450 yards, right, in 3
Uh-huh.
games, or get 450 yards in
And
3
then
games.
I wouldn't put it past Dak going off the next couple games.
There's a lot going on in these
Right.
3 weeks.
It's a toss-up, basically.
I would say Jalen and Mahomes are pretty out of it.
I think Jalen Hurts and Mahomes are out.
Jalen
I think, right?
played himself out of it, and then someone did the numbers. Like Mahomes has not been good at all this year.
Right? No,
He's 8
nah.
and 6.
And then
when has a team that lost 6 games be an MVP?
MVP, right? And
You
then
can't.
Josh Allen, you really can't put him in there either
6 losses.
he started
Can't.
off the game. He started off the year way too.
Drew said a couple weeks ago, whoever finishes like at the top of their conference is probably going to be the MVP on either
Well,
side.
that's what I'm saying on either side, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, like the out and out MVP because right now it's looking like the Ravens and the Niners. I mean, but you never know what could happen.
If Lamar loses to the Niners and then loses to Miami, he's out.
Right.
But if Dak can throw for 400 yards against Miami in the warm weather, Dak's going to be back up there. If
Right.
Purdy throws for 220 and Lamar throws for 220, so
Right.
I think there's a lot still in play. I think that Brock and Lamar are the front runners now, but I think that it's still at least a 3, maybe 4 people race.
Right.
My top 5 are going to be Brock, Lamar, Dak, McCaffrey, and Tyreek.
not
In no specific order.
It's not like how it was last year when it was just a two man race, right?
Right.
When it was just Mahomes and Jalen, and then even the year before that, you already knew that that Rodgers was going to run away with it.
Yeah, so there's still a lot left to play. If Tyreek can, like I said, get 600 yards in the next 3 games or 500 yards or whatever it may be and get the record, then he's going to be a front runner.
That'll also be pretty awesome. I wouldn't mind that. The thing is, I really don't mind who wins MVP. If Purdy wins it, great. McCaffrey, great. We still have the job to finish, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, for some guys, like what it means for their career, there's just so many storylines, right?
Well,
or
I
you
think
could be like Cam Newton, 10 years removed from an MVP, and just be ranting about how people aren't that good.
How everybody's trash.
I think
where I come from, that's trash.
Who it affects, I think Brock and Dak the most if they win MVP because both of them are.
They get paid later.
Dak is getting paid after this season,
Right.
and Brock in what 2 years Brock's going to get paid.
Yeah.
So it affects them significantly if they can win MVP for their
Right.
negotiations.
Well, if Brock wins it, he's gonna try to restructure, right?
I would restructure immediately.
Yeah, 100%.
Immediately.
I think they'll take care of him. Especially if he wins the Super Bowl, they'll take care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's all I was like, I mean, given whatever happens with the Niners from here on out, it's actually kind of relieving to say, like, we have a guy for the next 10, 15 years
By the
in
way,
that position.
You're welcome.
Oh, because you took out
Miami took out Jimmy G.
Jimmy G, the assassination of Jimmy G, dude.
Yeah. Broke his foot last
He
year?
broke his foot and he had to get surgery.
And then
And
Brock
then
came in. I was like, yeah.
And then Brock, remember there was a time where it was just
Still
like,
cook the Dolphins.
oh,
I
are they
know.
going to sign Baker? And then the Rams pick up Baker, right? And then, like, what are the Niners going to do?
Sitting there watching that game, I'm like,
They're
yeah.
like, they're not going to roll with
Jimmy
this
G's
guy.
out. Let's
Yeah.
go.
The Rams were like, psych, we're going to take Baker.
We
You guys
thought-
are stuck
yeah,
with
I thought our
Mr.
season
Irrelevant.
was over, and then watching him torch Tom Brady the week after, which I was there in person, which was pretty cool because when I immediately the crowd fell in love with him. Like, yeah, he was playing well, and it was like still in the second quarter, and they were just chanting his name, and then they showed his dad on the jumbotron just in tears. It's a pretty cool moment for him.
Do you need a tissue?
Yeah. Did you hear my voice?
Yeah.
The break in my voice?
Yeah.
Which,
Let's break down this week's games.
yeah, let's get into it.
So Thursday night, we got a big
Saints and Rams. It really is a big game for both of them.
playoff push for both.
For both.
Is Carr playing?
Yes.
Should be, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The
The Saints are still alive for their terrible division, and Rams are, I think, the 7th seed right
They're
now.
they're still in the hunt, or they're in
right now.
their
They're
picture,
in
right?
They're in
Yeah.
right now, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one because, I mean, that the Rams' offense has been coming up and down lately, but I mean, they did have that performance against the Ravens, right? Cooper Kupp starting to get more involved. I'm gonna go Rams.
Yeah, I'm going to go Rams on this one.
I'm going to go Rams also. You want?
Jesus Christ.
D.O.G. curse right away, dude, right off the bat.
Let me just point something out right now.
That's not the...
Go ahead. What's
The wild card teams, the
Mhm.
Vikings, Rams,
yeah?
Seahawks, Saints are all at 7-7.
Everybody's
There's and the Falcons at 6-8, the Packers at 6-8. There's still a lot of teams
think-
still alive for
I
that
think-
last wild card spot.
I think next week we'll get a clearer picture when we see teams separate from other teams.
Well, and then there's a lot of massive matchups this week, too.
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Some are going to move up and down.
It's going to be a little clearer next week, for sure, 100%. But yeah, so we're all going Rams. We're sweeping them.
We are
Any-
all going to go Rams.
Any key matchups on Sunday night
comes
or
Saint-
Sunday morning?
Here comes Saints incoming W. since
Oh,
we all
Dolphins,
picked
Cowboys and Dolphins. That's a big game.
That's
That's
probably
a massive game.
biggest
for
one.
both teams.
Biggest one of the weekend.
There's a 10 a.m. game, Browns and Texans.
That one's huge for both teams
That's-
too.
I mean, Bengals Steelers is pretty big.
Depending on CJ
Yeah.
Stroud if he plays.
That's on Saturday.
What's the Saturday game?
Bengals Steelers,
Okay.
Bills Chargers.
Mm,
The Bengals Steelers game is kind of a big game for both.
Yeah.
watch the Chargers just
Hey,
ruin the
way.
Let's
day.
go.
Let's go.
I'd hope for it.
You guys are just not fans of Josh Allen at all, huh?
Miami has a shot at the division, which hasn't happened in about 15 years. So, yeah,
Right.
I'm excited.
I got Austin
Mhm.
Eckler in fantasy. I need him.
Yo,
So-
no, that's true. In
I
your Pandulce league,
I'd be even more excited about Josh Allen if Fresno State would have done the right thing and make an offer to him, but
it's
that's
Fresno
neither
State,
here.
dude.
That's neither here
That's
nor there.
yeah. We can have a whole nother conversation on that.
yeah, those were the Drew years.
Which one are we picking first?
What are we picking? All the Saturday games?
Just the key ones. I mean,
Well, there's only one key Saturday game in my
Yeah,
opinion.
just the-
Bengals Steelers.
Okay, Bengals Steelers.
What's his face is back at quarterback. I can't think of his name.
Rudolph?
Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph.
I
That's
was
right.
even talking about. I think it was
The
like
dude
2
with the
weeks ago.
helmet.
Yeah.
The dude with the helmet.
Rudolph incoming before Christmas. Would have never thought of that.
Nice.
I'm gonna go Bengals all the way on this one.
I'm gonna go Bengals.
The curse, huh?
We're gonna give them the curse.
OC's
dude.
gonna leave here and put money down on the Steelers.
This is where Jake Brownie pisses down his leg.
Well, we talked about it last week. How like these guys will start off hot like
And then
Dobbs,
just-
and then just fall. They'll have a game where they fall
Right.
apart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm
TJ Watt's on the other side.
I'm gonna ride with the Bengals. So hey, if you're a Steelers fan, you're smiling because all three of us picked the Bengals.
I think so. I think we just made their day.
We did. All right. Sunday, we do have a big game, that 10 o'clock Browns-Texans.
No C.J. Stroud probably.
He's questionable. He's listed as questionable currently.
They said he's most likely going to miss.
Most likely.
I'm going to pick the Browns.
You going to pick the Browns?
I'm going to pick the Browns.
OC?
I'll go Texans at home.
I'm going to go Texans.
D'Amico.
I'm going to go D'Amico. And I think
I'm going to go Myles Garrett.
I think the sales at Joe Flacco's wings are starting to filter out a little bit.
That's what everyone thought, and then they won.
I mean, but this is what, his second start with them? Right?
Third?
Who?
Joe Flacco. This is their second start.
It was his second last.
So he's
Sunday.
2-0.
Yeah, that's what I was
rolling the hot hand.
This is about the time
I'm
where they
rolling
start
the hot hand.
to shut down. I mean, Josh Dobbs had 3 games in a row where he was like pretty hot, and then just
and they
went to
fell
third
apart.
string. Yeah.
That's also Josh Dobbs. Joe Flacco.
It's
He's
Joe
been there. He's
Flacco.
done that. Come on, give more credit to Joe Flacco than Josh Dobbs.
Remember when it was like Alonzo just decapitated Joe Flacco? When
yeah.
it was against
It was
a
against
Thursday
Miami,
night. Yeah, I remember that.
where he was like trying to order the room service. It was,
There's also another big game. I mean, sorta. Colts Falcons. Both teams are in playoff contention. It's bad teams, but it's a good game.
pick another one.
There's Jags Bucks.
That one's interesting.
Yeah, at the Bucks.
Oh,
Well,
I'm gonna take no. You know what? I don't trust Baker. I'm taking the Jags. Initially, I wanted to go.
I would take the Jags to bounce back.
Yeah.
I'll take the Bucks then.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the Jags are going to win that division.
All right, and the biggest game on Christmas Eve is going to be Cowboys Dolphins at 125 in Miami
That's the biggest one. Oh, Christmas Eve.
on Christmas
Yeah,
Eve,
yeah.
not on Christmas
Oh.
Day.
He's getting offended.
I know.
already.
Yeah, so I was like, wait a
I
minute.
said Christmas Eve.
I'm going to go Dallas.
Wow.
I'm gonna,
And who are you picking?
not that I have a race in this, not an emotional attachment to either team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be objective about it, and I would pick Dallas.
If Dallas is going to put forth the effort they did in Buffalo, which I don't think they will, because usually in the NFL, when you get spanked one week,
You bounce back.
you bounce back the
Mhm.
next. But I think Miami's loss kind of like woke them up too. So hopefully they show up
I don't
and
think
run the ball.
Tua is going to be able to handle that
That's
front.
why I said run the ball.
I think with that beat up offensive line, the Dallas Cowboys defensive line will pounce. I don't think McDaniels is going to run the ball as much as he should. I think you guys are going to try to throw the ball way more than what you should. And I think that's going to be the downfall of the Dolphins.
I think so too. I agree.
Not to mention Tyreek. I think they're going to force feed Tyreek a little bit, try and get those yards up.
Quite possibly, yeah.
So that falls right into the hands of the Dallas Cowboys. Good weather, I'm assuming, and I expect a big bounce back game for the Cowboys offense.
Right. All right.
It's the number 1 offense versus the number 6 offense, and the number 5 defense versus the number 6 defense.
It's good. It's good matchups.
It is.
It's good matchups.
It is.
But it's just that front for Dallas. And is Tua going to be able to handle that?
So he gets the ball out as quick as anybody. He's not going to hold on to it.
Mhm.
That's going to be the emphasis on Sunday. If he's holding on to the ball, they're not winning.
No.
We'll see what those DBs are able to do against Tyreek and Waddle.
Yeah, everything's going to be quick game
That's going to be
screens.
pretty interesting.
It's going to be a lot of toss action with Achane getting them outside because
See-
they can't run inside.
See, that's why I like the end zone views, because you can see those matchups from outside, right? Because the TV just gives you the ball in the center of the field, right? And then you can watch them out. Watching like Tyreek against Bland or whatever, like that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Or against Stephon. You think Stephon's going on Tyreek? Probably not.
It's hard to say because I think Tyreek is just going to burn Stephon Diggs down or Stephon Gilmore down the field. So I think it might be Bland.
You would have to go Bland, right?
I think so.
Bland with the
Or he's
safety
gonna-
over the top.
Or
let Stephon lock down Waddle.
It's 2 good corners against 2 good receivers.
It really is.
So
Pick
I
your
don't-
poison, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting because Dallas does play a lot of man because they blitz so damn much. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Moving on.
All right. primetime Christmas Eve is Patriots Broncos.
Blech.
Let's just
Basura.
skip over that.
Blech.
Christmas morning, Raiders at the Chiefs. Yeah,
Raiders have a
Chiefs.
slim chance at playoffs.
Chiefs.
You would want to go Raiders, but
It's
I want to
not
go
happening.
Raiders just because
Not
it'll
at
help.
Arrowhead.
I think
It'll help in the division.
I think
or
the Chiefs
conference.
defense is going to stifle them.
Think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about last time when the Raiders had a 14-0 lead and just blew the game, gave up 31 straight to Kansas City. So maybe
They do
learned,
that.
Maybe
do
they
that.
learned from their mistakes.
No, they do that.
I think the Raiders just won their Super Bowl last week, so season's over.
I think so too.
So, moving on, we got Giants Eagles. Give me my boy DeVito.
I think it's a bounce back game. I think the
It is not a bounce
I
back
think the
game.
Giants are that bad.
I think Jalen's that bad right now.
DeVito's agents over there trying to
Get his own
negotiate his
contract.
contract, dude. You guys have better benefits than the mob, you know, like
The NFL is about to be run by the mob.
401k and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, Philly at home.
yeah. I'm gonna go
Give
Philly.
me DeVito.
That
They're hot.
I just don't trust
Sorta.
that defense.
All right, so Ravens Niners, massive.
Massive.
You go last.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm gonna pick the Niners. I can't see the Ravens beating the Niners. Because I can't see Lamar. The one thing that the Ravens do really well is run the ball, and I feel like the one thing the Niners defense does really well, stop the run. So if you take away their strength, I'm gonna go with the Niners.
Yeah, San Francisco at home. It's another beast.
You're
So-
going to this game, right?
Obviously, I'm gonna want the Niners to win. I'm gonna try to go to this game. Tickets are
Did
a
we
little
just curse? Did we just
tickets-
curse the Niners?
Tickets are a little expensive, but I am gonna.
You've got 2 kidneys, right? Sell one.
I mean,
You know what? Even better, sell your wife's
I
kidney.
mean, one of them's already kind of starting to shut down a little bit on me, dude.
Sell your wife's kidney.
I haven't taken care of my body.
A Christmas present to yourself.
I know. Well, that's what I was
Ooh.
like. We have a little bit.
Just
of
get
extra
whatever
there,
you got me in OC, return it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
That's
Go
what I
get
was
you-
like. Man, we
Go
don't need
ahead, go to
electricity this month, right? But yeah, I do obviously want the Niners to win. However, when AFC quarterbacks come to visit Santa Clara, big time AFC quarterbacks, we do tend to kind of fall apart defensively, which our defense hasn't been all that great this year. Let's be real. I mean, adding Chase Young, has been making Boza play better. We haven't had Eric Armstead, which is our middle guy, right, taking away the run. When Joe Burrow came to Santa Clara, torched us, right? When Patrick Mahomes came to Santa Clara, I think it was last year, torched us. Tua, he didn't play all that great, but he was also putting up some yards, right? I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, first play of the game, that was it.
It's
it
gonna
added to his total.
I think it's gonna come down to who performs better, Lamar or Purdy. And Purdy has been in some dogfights this year. It hasn't gone well, right? We had the dogfight against Cleveland, the dogfight against Minnesota and Bengals was kind of a dogfight at first, and then they pulled away at the end. And then I don't think the Niners have won like a dogfight yet this year, and that's the only thing that kind of scares me a little bit. If this turns into a dogfight, is Purdy going to be able to put the team on his back?
So are you picking the Ravens?
No. I already picked the Niners. I picked the Niners.
I thought he was going to pick the Ravens
I
just
picked
so we
the
don't curse
Niners,
them.
but a loss here is not the big deal, right? It's not the end of the world for us.
It was very nice for the Niners that the Eagles lost yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not the end of the world for us. If we do lose, I feel like we're going to be able to learn from it. Okay,
No, you need to win because the race for the AFC is coming down to this.
OC needs.
All right,
needs
we'll do it
a
just for
Niner
you,
win.
baby.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go.
It's not
I'm
gonna.
gonna
It's not gonna benefit him in either way when the Dolphins lose this.
I'm gonna go
Sunday.
heckle.
that,
I'm gonna
do
go
that,
heckle
let's go.
Lamar, just like I did to OBJ.
and then he's gonna.
OBJ, he's back. I just
You have to
realized,
go
dude,
you remember me?
Oh hell, bro. Let's end with that, dude. Let's go. Let's close that out.
We're not gonna talk about the race bowl at all.
Oh man,
We'll spend
we
3
ran.
minutes.
We ran out of time, dude. or what's his name? Matt Damon. I'm sorry, dude, but we ran out of time, dude. Like, we almost had him on.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you turn the notifications on, unlike someone I know. Yeah.
All right.
No
Let's
comment.
end with that awkward silence.
No comment from him.
All right.
All right,
We'll see you guys later.
All right, peace. Go Cowboys.